On Thursday, DAV and Recruit Military are hosting an Atlanta Veterans Job Fair at Mercedes-Benz Stadium from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. I'm Tim Darnell, and welcome to this edition of Atlanta News First here on all of our podcasting platforms and also on our YouTube channel. We're talking today with Raul Torres. Now, he is the event coordinator for this week's event on Thursday, as I said, Mercedes-Benz Stadium. And, Raul, talk to us a little bit about what Recruit Military is. First of all, let's start there. What is your organization all about?
Absolutely. So I won't be the event director on the ground this Thursday, but I have done this event before, but this time around, it'll be my colleague Anthony Wagner. But yeah, absolutely. Recruit Military, we're the leading organization connecting companies with the military community. And we do that through job fairs, whether it be in person or virtual. We do that through networking events. We have a job board that currently has over 230,000 job listings available, and we also do direct placement recruiting.
What are some of the challenges that veterans face when they're discharged from the military? There's so much of a difference between the military culture and the private sector capitalistic culture. What are some of the problems and issues veterans have when entering the private sector job market?
So one of the biggest issues, one of the biggest disconnects that we see on our end is just how difficult it is to convey your military experience onto a resume for the civilian workforce. So all those intangibles, all those great characteristic, whether it be teamwork, leadership, adaptability, to take all that and put it on a piece of paper for a civilian company is where a lot of that disconnect typically is, and that's where we step in and offer these events and just give the military community an opportunity to get face to face with employers who's sending company representatives who most of the time are veterans themselves, right? So a lot of the company representatives who are veterans, they've often been on the other side of our own job fair sometimes as a job seeker. So that just goes to show the conversation that's being had between veterans.
Do you feel like the nation is still lagging behind in terms of recognizing the skill sets that veterans bring to the private sector? We all are familiar with higher unemployment rates among veterans and the various issues that come, with being out of work or from a low income environment. How is the nation doing in this regard?
So I think it's been improving. The veteran unemployment rate nationally as of last month is sitting at a 3%. And for Georgia, the latest numbers, I believe, from 2022 are sitting at a 3.2% veteran unemployment. So I got to say, there's absolutely been improvement there. And we see that with the companies that we're working with now in order to get them in front of the veterans and military spouses that are looking for employment. The companies that we work with are absolutely understanding of those differentiating factors, what veterans bring to the table, the culture benefits that they see when they hire veterans, and how the buy-in changes with the teammates that the veterans are working with that they've brought on board.
What are some of the companies that you're working with?
So some of the companies that are going to be at the event include Nucor, Honeywell, Auto Owners Insurance, First Command, Lockheed Martin. So we do work with national companies, but there are also some local ones that attend the events as well.
What are some of the top local companies that you've worked with that really, make an effort to recruit veterans?
So outside of the ones that I've mentioned, there are some local companies. I have them right in front of me now. But just to name a few more, Military Sea Lift Command, Waste Management, those are a few of the top ones. And we, local companies, a lot of the time we do have police departments that are looking for, uh, officers. Those typically are some of the local ones that show up in droves.
At the beginning of our recording, I mentioned DAV along with recruit military. I failed to identify what DAV is, Disabled American Veterans. What are you doing? Describe some of the work that you're doing with disabled American veterans.
So Disabled American Veterans, DAV, they're the title sponsor for most all of our events. They're right there with us, lockstep. And what DAV does, they work veteran claims and they also work VA benefits in general. And they personally, myself, I've gone through DAV for my VA claims, for any benefit questions that I have, and they're always there alongside us at our events. And if they're not there in person uh, at any one of our events, we make sure that the job seekers that are at those events understand who their local office representative is in case they wanted to reach out.
Now, you're a U.S. Marine Corps veteran, aren't you?
100%.
Tell us about your service. What was your experience like?
Yeah. So I transitioned out of the Marine Corps around 3 years ago. Around the time I started with Recruit Military, there was some overlap there. I served as a public affairs Marine for 5 years. And public affairs Marine, sometimes I get the question, hey, what exactly did you do? What's a public affairs Marine? And my job was to tell the story of the Marine Corps through video, photo, articles, and I covered everything from military exercises down to even the recruiting effort.
From your own personal standpoint, what unique skills did the Marine Corps teach you that's enabled you to transition?
So the Marine Corps specifically, adaptability and just an accelerated learning curve. You have to be able to pick up things very quickly in the military, and you quickly learn that. And I think what happens is when you transition the military to the civilian workforce, some of the times you're not going to have the technical skills there with you that translate over. You do bring the teamwork, leadership, the culture, but the technical skills sometimes aren't fully there. So what I took from training, just to overcome maybe some of those technical abilities that I didn't have in my current role, is just adaptability, being able to learn, pick up things very quickly. And I think a lot of the veterans that transition out, again, technical skills might not be there, and everything else kind of picks them up until they learn exactly what technical things they have to do in their new position.
Do you feel like the U.S. military, among all branches, needs to do a better job imparting some of those technical skills?
So some of the time, some of the veterans that come in might do a job in the military and transition over to something completely different. So, as far as doing a better job with technical skills, I think it all depends on the veteran and what they decide to do after the military. We do learn a lot of technical jobs in the military, but sometimes veterans don't want to do, what they've been doing for 5, 10, 15, 20 years. And when they transition over, I think we all need to do a better job, and we have been improving. as you know, as an American society of understanding what the veteran brings to the table. And I think at our job fairs, the companies that work with us understand that very well.
So final question, tell us about the event on Thursday, February 8th, location, hours, and everything that's going on.
So again, the event is the DAV Recruit Military Atlanta Veterans Job Fair. It is going to be hosted at the Mercedes from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. And it is open to all members of the military community, including veterans, transitioning service members, military dependents, and spouses, as well as members of the Guard and the Reserve. And those companies are 100% looking to fill their gaps with military talent.
All right, well, thanks to Raul Torres. He is with Recruit Military talking about a job fair on Thursday, February 8th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Thanks to Raul Torres. Thanks all of you for watching and listening to this important topic here on Atlanta News First and AtlantaNewsFirst.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Tim, for having us.